How's it going? You might be wondering why I'm painting a scale, but I'm just getting it ready to make some solutions, which we're going to be doing today. I think that's why you're here. First thing we need to do when we paint solutions is go and check and see if we have any in the fridge room. Coming through this door here, right next to the dishwasher. Come back and check our friend Karen, and we'll see. Okay, we have some OR2. It was made just 10 days ago or so. That's not too bad for the OR2. It doesn't really expire. And then we can also check our pen strep solutions. This is fairly new, so we don't need to make any today. But if we did, we would then come over to the freezer. And in the freezer, we've got these little aliquots. This is pen strep, it's frozen. But if we were to make pen strep today, we'd need to thaw it completely before putting it into the solution. So we would take that with us, maybe put it in our pocket, hold it in our hands for a while, start that thawing process because it takes a little bit. So let's go back in here. Alright, the other thing we can check after we've checked to see if we need to make OR2 immediately is we can check our Kool-Aid mixtures. So I'll bring those over here. These are basically just pre-mixes. It's all the salts that we use for OR2 minus the water. And if we're going to be using, or if we're going to be making some of these, then they'll be empty. All of these are full except for the one. So it looks like we only need to make one today. In order to do that, we kind of got to get some stuff set up and get ready. So all up in here is all of our ingredients, our salts, and they're somewhat alphabetized, but not especially. So you'll look at the recipe, which is in this white binder. It's on the first page. And first off, what is shown is in here, you've got your molar concentrations of all the salts that need to be added. Since that can be a little bit confusing, underneath here is our weights in grams of the salts that need to be added. The dark or the printed section is for 1 liter, and in pencil is our weights if we're going to be making something with a half a liter or 500 milliliters. So we can look at this ingredient list and we'll pull down everything that we need, like sodium chloride is first, and other various salts that will be listed here. Next we'll come down here. We'll find our weigh boats. Pull out a weigh boat for each salt. And some spatulas. I like the big funnely ones because things don't fall off of them. These are a little less good. Okay. We'll take a Sharpie, and in order to avoid confusion, since a lot of the salts look the same, I'll label each one with the salt that I'm going to be putting in it. So I'll use sodium chloride for this one. And it doesn't look like much, but to me it makes sense. So we'll use that for this demonstration. I'll take my spatula and my weigh boat, and I'll come over here to the scale. First I need to turn it on with the on-off button. And you can sit down to be comfy. Put the weigh boat on the scale and wait for the numbers to stop moving around. And then you'll hit the 0 button or tare if you've had other scales that have a tare button. It's the same thing. So now it's being weird, you can just reset it. Okay. Now you take from your big ol' stock solution and you will place it on the weigh boat until you reach the desired number. Now, for sodium chloride, I need 4.7921 grams, but we can be accurate out to just 2 decimal places, so 4.79. Anything after that is just sixes. So let's say that I've gotten too much in here now. If I need to take any of this out, like I have too heavy, take it out. I don't put it back in the stock solution. We don't want to contaminate that. So we'll dump it in the trash. When I have the right weight, I can take this and I'll put it into my Kool-Aid mix pouch. Cap it up. If I were to be making multiple of these, I would use sodium chloride, and I would do however many I needed first. So if I had to do 2, 3, or 4, I would do 4 of these in just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'd move to the next salt. It really speeds up the process. When you're done, these can be thrown away. Turn off the scale. Also, a helpful tip. In between, if you spill salts, especially up here on the sensitive weight part, you can brush that off. That's what I was doing when you came in, and that will help to keep your weights more accurate. Go. One thing I forgot to mention is that you'll be using one side for your particular salt that you're weighing out at the moment, and then you can flip it over to do the next salt. So use the other side, that way to avoid contamination. But once you've done 2 salts, now both sides are contaminated. So you just take a paper towel and you can wipe off both sides, just like that. That way you avoid contamination with all the other stock solutions for the next salts that you're going to put in. Because there are about 6 or 7 that you'll be putting in. Now if I had to make solution today, I'd come over here to the bottles. And in here you'll find a 1 liter bottle and 500 milliliter bottle, half a liter. This is what we'll use for the pen strep, and this is what we'll use for OR2. Now, I'll take 1 of each with us, just to show you. So, one thing I wanted to show you about the pen strep. Back at the ingredients menu, this red line is our delineation between what we want to put in pen strep versus what we want to put in our OR2. Everything above it goes in the OR2. Everything above and below goes in our pen strep. So these extra 2 ingredients, the ampicillin or the pen strep, that is the frozen thing that I showed you earlier. And the theophylline is just right here. So it's just extra. They're essentially just antibiotics that we use for this solution. Now for the pen strep, you will be using all of your penciled amounts here, which is your half. It's all for the half a liter. And under here, you'll see 5 milliliter pen strep. What I showed you was a 5 milliliter aliquot, so it's already made up for that. So now we'll move over to making just some OR2. First we'll open up our bottle, take off this tape, and we will be putting it on this stir bar, but we got to fill it up with some water first. So we'll come over here. This is our distilled water dispenser. It dispenses highly accurate amounts, so that's why we use this. So you come over, and I'll just show you what I do to get it to work, because I don't really know how. But I hit this circle button, and yeah, I might hit that a couple times till, see, now we got some numbers. So these numbers mean that it's probably gonna work for us now. Right now it's saying half a liter or 0.5 liters. We can hit up till we get to 1 liter, and then if you look at this right here, it'll tell you to always pre-flush 30 to 50 milliliters. So I'll just hit go and then stop it right away. So now it's a little bit of a pre-flush. I can now put my bottle up and hit go again and let it run its course for an entire 1 liter. Ding. Done. So I'll bring this back over to the stir plate that I was showing you. So we'll put it on the stir plate. And then we'll take one of our Kool-Aid solutions. Which it's good to have a lot of those, just in case we do a lot of recordings or a lot of injections during a week and we're going to be needing a lot of OR2. So right now we have 7 of them made up. That's a lot. It's good. So you take this and you'll pour it in there. I'm not going to right now, just because we don't really need any. Then you'll come in here, you'll find another little vial that has stir bars in it. I'll drop the stir bar in there. And you'll turn this on to stir. Keep the heat off, we don't want to heat it. So it's stirring, you've added your salt, and it starts going, right? Next we need to do is pH the solution. So we can usually start off by just dropping in 2 or 3 drops of this sodium hydroxide. That will turn the solution more basic. So 1, 2, 3. And then you'll take this measures your pH. So right now it's sitting in like a dielectric solution. And so we'll take it out of there, hold it over this speaker, and this is just distilled water, which you can fill up just at any sink. And you'll wash it off like this. Make sure to get inside the little holes. And then you'll stick it in the solution and wait for this readout to say stable. It'll say stable. I mean, it won't right now, but it will. and then you'll see what your pH is at. We want to pH these solutions to 7.5. If we've gone too basic and we're over the 7.5, then we can use HCl. Now this is much less concentrated than our sodium hydroxide, so we can use, it'll usually take a couple more drops of this to lower the pH than it would to raise the pH with the sodium hydroxide. Once your pH is at 7.5 and it is registering as stable, then you're done with this, and after being in the OR2 solution, you'll just wash it again and set it back in your dielectric solution. Alright, so now this has been stirring for a while, it's been pH'd. You can turn off the stirring, and then we need to filter. So we'll get another 1 liter solution or bottle. Let's pretend this is 1 liter. And you'll take a filter from up here. We don't have to use a new filter every time, so don't throw it away. We'll use the same filter several times. You'll stick this just on top of the bottle there. You'll take the cap off, obviously, but since this is autoclaved, I don't want to do that. You'll take this vacuum hose from this Barnant Company vacuum pressure station, and you'll stick it right here on the nipple. Then you'll take your solution that you've just mixed, you'll pour it in. It won't hold the whole thing at once, so you'll have to just keep pouring until this is empty and this is full. When you're done, or Yeah, don't forget to turn it on, like I did. Just like that. Make sure it's on vacuum, not pressure. When you're done, you can just undo that, take this off. Don't forget the lid. And then, now this is done. You bring it over here, and you'll just write. You need to label everything that you made. So, OR2, CA+. That's what we call this stuff. My initials, JF. The pH, which I got to 7.5 because I'm good at pHing. And then the date. So 10/3. That's all you need. You go put it in the fridge, and it is ready for Doris to work magic with. And that is it. That was the end.